Hi guys, Jay here. I'm just doing an instructional video today. We've got a bad cigarette port, or it could be something else. So I'm going to diagnose it and then replace it. Alright, inside the car now, I have my key set to accessory mode. Down here we have the cigarette port. I just have a light kit that's plugged in right now. And this should highlight red right there. There should be a light that comes on. And as you can see, there's no lights on either side. So I've checked the fuse inside of here. That fuse is fine. So the problem is inside the car. Real quick, if you do have a cigarette port that looks like this, I just took the head of it off, and right here is a common fuse. This might be like 1.5 amps, and I can see that the wire's fine. I've tested this with the multimeter. If this is your problem, you can replace one of these for fairly cheap and not have to worry about anything else. So make sure you try a few different devices in the cigarette port to see if the device is bad or if your port is bad. When I turn the car onto accessories with the lights on, the cigarette port will now glow blue. That is actually an unrelated fuse. So if your cigarette port doesn't have any power out port but has a light in it, that still could mean that it's bad. It doesn't necessarily mean that your cigarette port is working. So at this point inside the cabin, if you look right under the steering wheel, there will be a cover here. Looks like this. Comes on right here. If you pull from the bottom, this right here actually shows us where the fuse is. That one right there. It just says C/light. So camera's probably not picking it up, but C/light. Located right here. It's the second one up from the bottom, because this bottom line of fuses are all spare fuses. And that's what we're going to use to replace this one. So first one, second one up from the real fuses. Want to pull that out? Let's check that. And if you can't pull it out by hand, I would recommend getting a pair of pliers. Just going to fold it up, put it in here. And now with that, I can grab my 15 amp fuse just like that. Very easy. And I'm not squeezing too hard, so I'm not going to damage the fuse. Here's the fuse right here. It's a 15 amp blue fuse, and I can visibly see that this one is blown because there's a disconnect in the small wire right in the center of it. And if you're not sure, sometimes you're going to want to test this. You can use a multimeter and check for resistivity. If there's infinite resistance, then there is no path for the electricity to travel, so your fuse is blown. The bottom row of this fuse box is just all spares. We have one blue spare right there. So that's what we're going to use. Blue is the 15 amps. And I'm just going to take this from here and put it right in there to see if that will fix the problem. Alright, on to accessories now. Fuse is in. Before I put the panel back in, I'm just going to check to see if this is working. So one press in, and I can see that turns red. And I can see the floor lights are going crazy. So very happy with that. That fixed our problem for now. I think this hears my voice and that's why it's flashing. So problem solved for now, but I want to keep an eye on that and see if it blows again. If it blows again, then we'll probably have another problem somewhere else. Maybe this light kit is drawing too much power out of the cigarette port. Another thing, the powered mirrors right here, so the adjusters, left, right, up, down, side to side, that is on the same fuse as your cigarette port. So if your power mirrors are also not working, that's a good sign that you need to replace your fuse.